Hi guys, EBPMAN here with Tablets for Me, and today we're going to take a look at a very flexible security camera that can fit virtually anyone's needs. This is the Remocam from Remocam. Now before doing the unboxing, I just wanted to go through some of the key features that are highlighted with the Remocam. We'll zoom in just to make sure that everybody can see this real nice and clear. This is a security camera that promises a very fast setup, 1 minute type setup process. It will allow you to have a live feed of what's going on in your home. It also has motion sensing detection as well as a night vision camera. You have the ability to save your content on the cloud, and it also features a security or an alarm that can be enabled. You also have the ability to work with other devices, so this technology or this security camera supports the Internet of Things where it can connect to other devices, and we're going to see how that works. HD resolution with a significant number or high encryption rate. Pan and tilt, which is great, so you're really going to be able to see your entire area both horizontally and vertically, so we can see that 335 degree pan and tilt, as well as local recording and two-way communication. So we're going to take a look at the camera, we're going to do an unboxing, and we'll see how it works. Now inside the box you'll find your Remocam, an FCC statement, a quick start guide, and a power adapter. Now taking a closer look at the camera, what you'll find is you have a set of LEDs here for night vision. You do have a mic here in the front, as well as you do have a speaker. The body allows the camera to swivel and really have pan and tilt capabilities, which we're going to see in a couple seconds. On the back, what we have here are our line in micro SD. We also have here a power port. On the bottom, let's just flip this over so you can see that, we do have a reset switch. Okay. In addition to that, you do get to see the there's some information right here that has the manufacturer information, power adapter, as well as the MAC address. Now before starting up the camera, what we're going to do is go to the Play Store, or you can go into the iTunes Marketplace and find the Remocam application. You can install it, and then you're going to register your credentials so that you can establish an account with Remocam. So the next step is to power up the camera, and you will hear a audio prompt welcoming you to Remocam. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add the camera. On the camera app, we're going to hit plus. My phone is connected to Wi-Fi, and I'm going to hit next. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my network credentials so that I can pass those credentials over to the camera. Now the next step is to put the phone in front of the camera, and it's going to read this QR code. Let's go ahead and do it.
Recognize the QR code.
So I got a message back saying that it recognized the QR code, and you can see that there's an update taking place on the phone itself. And we'll let it go through the process. So at this point, it's going to be transferring your Wi-Fi credentials and establishing a Wi-Fi connection, not with your phone, but establishing the connection from the Remocam to your access point. Now you'll continue to hear some prompts. I got a prompt indicating that the Remocam was set up successfully, and to wait a couple seconds for the camera to start. Alright, so now the next step is I'm just going to go ahead and hit play here on the app, and I'm going to let the camera and the phone connect. So it's not going through its setup, and now as you can see right here, you can see what the camera sees. So I'll just put my hand right in front of it, and you can see there's my hand, and I'll come away from it and it'll disappear. So now that we've established you set up the connection, that was pretty fast. It was also very simple. So now let's go ahead and go through the app, and we'll see some of the features of the camera once we discover everything that's available on the app itself. So now let's take a closer look at the app and see how the app works. First, at the very top, you'll notice that you see the camera image. You do have some directional arrows, and these directional arrows are going to allow you to pan or tilt the camera itself. On the bottom area here, or towards the center, you do have the some other controls and some options that we'll go over in a second. And then at the very bottom you have your speech and your listen command buttons. If you flip the camera or your watch sideways, you're going to get a larger view, as you can see right here. So this is the larger view of what my camera is picking up, and you have the same controls there but now in a different view. Once I rotate it back, it goes back to its standard view. So let's take a look at some of the features that we have here in the app. The first one we're going to try is a siren. So let's cover your ears because it could get pretty loud. So that's the siren, and the siren is very loud. I have to say that the speaker with this security camera is probably one of the loudest that I've ever reviewed. You can tap take a picture to take a picture. You can press record video to record a video. You can tap emergency calls to dial 911 or add context here who you would call in the event that you need someone to check out your house, which is pretty convenient. I really like this from a workflow perspective because I don't have to switch to another app. I can call someone and still have access to my Remocam app. You do have speech and listen capabilities. And I will say that this is probably one of the best cameras on the market that I've reviewed to this point, and I've reviewed quite a few. You can see them on the channel that have a very large loudspeaker and a very clear mic. So I can hear really clearly, and the person on the other side can actually hear me very clearly because of how loud the speaker is. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it into speak mode. We'll probably get a little feedback because I'm so close, but I just wanted to give you kind of a sense of how it sounds. Let's do this test. 1, 2, 3. We'll do that one more time. 1, 2, 3. So you can hear it. It's very loud and it's very clear. And you're going to use it as if it were a walkie-talkie. All you do is you press the button and you speak just like this, and then it will work. To listen, all you do is you tap, and it's going to start to listen to what's going on. So now all of the audio or the feedback is coming through my phone, and that's why you hear that background noise. So again, very clear. You can really appreciate the quality both of the mic and the speaker when you start using those two features. So now let's take a look at some of the zoom capabilities and how we can adjust the camera itself. So I'm going to flip my phone over just like this, so now I can see full screen. And I want you to appreciate when I tap this button how fast the camera moves. So the movement is almost real time. It's really hard to perceive how, if any, lag exists. Now I can see, and you can see it, that as I'm moving there seems to be a slight lag on the image as it's coming across, but there was really no perceived lag when it came to interacting with the camera. You can tilt it, and I'm going to tilt it to my ceiling screen. It's not going to be terribly exciting, anything that you see there. So I'm moving the camera up, and you can see how the image, and I'll try to do this so you can see this way. And you see the image updating there, moving it over, and I can continue to move upwards, and I can continue to move downwards. So you can put this, you can mount this on a ceiling, you can mount this on just on a nightstand or on a fireplace stand, as long as you have an electrical outlet close by where you can plug it in, and you can really control how much you see. So a lot of flexibility there, and we're going to put this in a dark room so that we can see how it works when it comes to just moving around and actually with low light conditions. But again, very, very smooth zooming capabilities, and as you saw, a lot of useful features that are built into the app itself. Now the next thing I wanted to review are all the settings that you have in the app. We'll look at these settings in a second, but let's take a look at what we have here. So at the very top you have the ability to look at your Remocam, and you also have the remote option, and this is so if you have any kind of device that you can control that could be part of the app, you'll be able to do this, control it here. So for example, turning on the lights, turning off the lights, turning on an appliance, that's what the remote function has. We don't have any devices yet hooked up. We'll look at that in a couple seconds, but right now we're looking here at the Remocam settings. So here you can actually name the camera whatever you want, or location. You do have motion sensors, and the motion sensors are pretty good. It does not allow you to draw an area, but it does break up the image into quadrants, and we're going to look at that in a second. So I'm going to turn that on. It's going to take a couple seconds to update, so we'll let it go through that process. Here you have the ability to save to cloud or save to an SD, because it does have an onboard SD. You can receive push notifications if you'd like to. I'll turn those off for now. So let that go through that. You can adjust the detection areas, and here with the detection areas you have a couple modes. You'll notice that you'll be able to have the entire area that it's viewing, or what you could do is a large area, and then this is where you can actually go after zones. See how it has kind of these check boxes, each one represents a zone. You can do a small area, and then this is right now looking at, again, a specific zone, and whatever you have checked is going to be the area that will be selected. Unfortunately at this time I don't see the ability completely yet where you can select multiple areas. So let's say, for example, you have a cat and you want to see that this is their bowl, and then this is the countertop. You want to make sure they don't spend any time on the countertop. So you can see when they go to the bowl, but you won't be able to see when they jump on the countertop, which you would like, and I would like to see it in both places. But again, you can do an entire area, and then also what you can do is just adjust the camera as you're looking at what you're trying to focus on, which is really neat because then it really gives you a lot more flexibility and control. You do also have the a sensitivity setting. Let's bring that up a little bit so you can see that. You have a sensitivity setting. So right now it's set at medium. You do have the ability to push notifications, which I disabled, and then you also have the ability to establish different resolutions. You have HD quality, average quality, and low quality. So we're going to go ahead and cancel that. We'll leave that as it is. And then at the very bottom here, you have the ability to adjust the camera orientation so that you can flip it upside down, and especially if you have the camera mounted on a wall. So let's look at low light conditions. We'll put it in another area. I'm going to put this in my living room and give us the ability to take full advantage of the camera, the angle, and what we can see. Alright, so this is a view of what my living room looks like in the low light condition that we're in. So you'll notice that there is hardly any light. Now let's switch to the security camera. So as you saw a couple seconds ago, there's very little light coming into the room, but now that the camera is enabled and we're seeing what the security camera can see, you can see that there is, at least an initial image, a lot more light that's being brought out due to the security camera's night vision capability. So I'm going to go ahead and connect to it, and then we're going to see, using the landscape view, everything that it can see, even though that room was pretty dark. So you can see how much light is coming in, and let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit so you can see that better. I'll move the camera. You see how the head's moving, and I can see pretty well in there. Again, that was a very dark room, and if I'd like to zoom in, I can zoom in. All right. I'll zoom out again, and we'll continue to move this way. And now we're going to go towards a light source. So you can see my dog right there and the front door of my house. So I can zoom in and move over. And let's see, I can talk to somebody who's in that room. So let's see what we can listen to. So I have a bird in the first level, so we'll just press this button to listen to him. So I can hear my bird. Turn that off. I'm going to speak. Hello down there. Can you guys hear me? So that was pretty loud. I'm going to set up my alarm. And there's the alarm going off. So I'm annoying people on a different level. But all in all, performance is really good. So as you can see there, I can actually move my camera around, tilt, without any issue. I'm going to continue to move, and I'm going to now tilt it so you can get an appreciation of the tilt capability. So let's do this now. So now it's going to the ceiling. So right now it's on the ceiling. I can go down. We'll see how low it can go. And right now that's all the way on the bottom. So we can go back up again. And again, really flexible. And once again, you know, the ability to zoom in and zoom out is almost instantaneous because all you're going to do is pinch to zoom in. So so far, great performance, speaker performance, mic performance, and then also the ability to pin, pitch, zoom, being able to look at the room, and you can see that the night vision capability is pretty good as well. So the next feature I wanted to show you is how you can actually use the app itself that controls your security camera to control lights within your home. Now this light bulb uses this type of remote control to change the colors, to turn on and off the bulb. So simply by pressing the on button, you see the light turns on. Pressing the off button turns off. I can adjust the different colors. There is a series of features that are all here programmed on the remote. So the security camera, as long as it's within line of sight, and you'll notice that the camera is kind of focused on the bulb, and you can see it here, can also control these things. All you do is you go into remote, and I've already programmed the bulb. I'll show you how that's done. You go into bulb, and this is the color bulb, and then all I do is I'll press the on button. You notice it'll turn on. I can change the color from green to blue. And these are the two colors that I just selected. And you notice how fast that is. And I could also turn it off. So if you have more devices in your home, or devices that are in a bedroom, for example, you could literally turn on and off the lights. If you have a television, you could also program the camera to turn on the TV. You can program the camera to also turn off the TV. So any device that is using this type of IR type blaster that's going to can be captured, you can capture using the security camera. So now that you've seen how it worked, let me show you what you have to do in order to set up your camera to control a device that has a infrared control. All you do is you go into Remote. We're going to add a new device. So here are some devices that I've added just for practice sake. I'm going to either choose a TV or another device, and I'm going to call this the Bulb 2 as a test. And I'm going to hit Next. And it's going to want to make sure that the camera is seeing the device. That's the one thing. And it says it right there. It says make sure the Remo is facing the device. I'm going to hit Next. And now I've got to add the command. So this is the part that's going to be a little tricky, because it's important that you know what you're going to be doing so that you have the right timing associated with the programming. So I'm going to program the remote or the camera to turn on the bulb. So what I'm going to do is, you notice I have an on button here. I'm going to say add a command, and the command I'm going to add is the on command. So I'm going to tap on and hit Next. Now notice the picture says what we're going to want to do is just turn the on button on, just like that. So what I did is I faced the remote to the camera, I pressed the on button, the bulb turned on, but the camera also recorded it. Now I'm going to add another command. And this command I'm going to add is for flashing. So we're going to go through some color flashing. So I'm going to put flash, call it flash. Alright, now before I hit Next, I'm going to look on the camera which one has the flash button. It's right there. I'm going to basically hit Next now, and I'm going to use the flash command. And now that's been recorded. Right? And you'll notice that the bulb is changing colors, is going through a flash. The next command I'm going to add, and again, and this is all you'll do, I'm going to choose the on command. On. I'm going to hit Next. Or actually, in this case, we already did an on. Let's do an off. And we're going to hit Next. And now I'm going to press the off button. And again, all I'm doing is pointing at the camera. Oh, I took a little too much time. Let me add the off again. This is why you want to make sure that you have everything set up. Hit Next. Alright, they recorded it. So that's my off. And all you do is you continue to do that for every color that you want, or what you want to do with the television, or in this case the lamp. I'm going to add one more command, and I'm going to add the command for, let's turn this on. We're going to go for the command for a different color here. We're going to choose this color, which is kind of like an orange. I want to do that. Orange. I'm going to hit Next. Make sure I got it. And now I'm going to hit Close. Alright, so now that I've programmed it, all I'm going to do is now go into Remote, choose my devices. Remember, we did the color bulb 2. So here are all my commands now. So I can turn it off. It's off. Turn it on. You see that it turns on. I could go to the orange color, and you notice that now it's orange. Or I can go flash to go to the flashing and cycle through colors. So pretty flexible. So again, being able to control your TV, being able to control lights, all through the security cameras, I think a really neat feature. So this concludes our review of the Remocam. This happens to be one of the most feature-packed cameras that we reviewed on our channel. I want to thank Remocam for allowing us to review the product here on Tablets for Me, and I would also like to thank you for watching. If you have any comments or questions about the product, please leave it on the YouTube channel, and as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.